What is the last thing you remember, dude? And he's holding you by the head.
Pennywise started cackling about something, and then I assumed one of his new plans to try to terrify me appeared.
Before you got here.
Before I got here, I fucking jumped the loop into here. What do you mean before I got here? I've been here for like 10 years.
He's gonna grab him and a hug again and pick him up.
Oh!
No, dude!
What are we doing? Why are we doing this? What is happening? How are you?
I said, practicing your marbles.
I thought you were dead.
It's all relative. Looks like you've grown up, Georgie.
How is this possible?
Have you forgotten? Does that brain let you forget?
That's a great question.
I said, are you practicing your marbles, Georgie?
No. I've practiced so much more.
Down the hallway, 10 doors swing open at once. From each door, in varied states of undress, 20 of the students that you are protecting in Firewatch march out as one. 10 behind you, 10 in front of you. And as they turn to look at you, inside their skulls, all you see are white orbs, and dancing across those orbs are musical notes. You are surrounded, and that voice says, I am the Ripper Man. I am the Nexus One. I want more life, fucker. I ain't done. But the voice comes from each one of the 20 students that are standing around you. As you all are still 50 yards from the Silver Bullet, a roadie turns to you and he says, I like it. I'm not gonna crack. And a tech spins away from one of the soundboards. I miss you. I'm not gonna crack. A road manager comes up. I killed you. I'm not gonna crack.
I think when she sees that, she's using her one success for Ben because she's freezing when she sees it.
So Scarlet pushes Ben ahead. Ben stumbles, or he would have stayed and to help as well, but he's moving and he kind of gets whisked away just by the kind of the movement of the crowd itself. As you all are being parted, Jerry, you see as the crowd begins to swarm around Scarlet, what do you do to get Scarlet and yourself out of there?
I think he'll just kick whoever's between him and her and grab her by the hand and pull her to him.
So the two of you are running hand in hand through these reaching arms, these grasping fingers, and you're able to break free as Ben's coming back for you guys, and the three of you, this triad of a family found, run towards the bus. And it's just at that moment when you see the emergency truck. It comes barreling through the crowd up to you, and all you see are the headlights. Ahead of you as you climb the stairs. Again, the silence here inside the Sin City is strange, a juxtaposition. But here, when you walk up, the great window in the front of the Lucky Stirrup is reflecting the neon lights of Fremont Street, lending a bit of light to this dead casino. But ahead of you, at the top of the stairs, a voice oozes. Oh, look at your face. Your name is might have been. My name is never was. My name is forgotten.
She uses one of her free hands to grab the cuffs that she brings with her for the bounties and throws it towards the direction of the voice and then says, put them on.
When the cuffs hit the ground and slide exactly in the direction of the voice, it's almost as if the shadows pull back just enough to show you a boot, and the cuffs slide and hit the toe of the boot. You're the one that scares me the most. Do you know why, Shannon?
I don't, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me.
Well, what's the fun in that? Don't you know what you are? Why people should be scared of Shannon Locke?
Because I get rid of people like you.
That's right. You're a killer. You know how to get your hands dirty. That's scary to anybody. I gotta kill you now, Shannon.
Not this time. She shoots her gun.
As you fire off the shot, so you take him right in the sternum then. You see him kind of move back. You hear that wet thud as it against his chest, and you immediately see blood begin to ooze out of the loop. The once and future Mitch and the last Prime. 3 birds, 1 clown. The spare second spasms. The ground pitches beneath your feet. The eternal second, the one that thought it would live forever, realizes that death has finally come for it. It begins to collapse. Seconds have a very short life. This, the most ancient of all the seconds, begins to crumble. Mitch, your home for the last 10 years begins to crumble. Where once the sky was gray and the buildings faded, they begin to split. The ground opens, turmoil aplenty. And in the background, you see the towers of the loop begin to tilt and fall. Scranton, Pennsylvania, the lights of a truck coming at you. Annapolis, Maryland, falling down into a crowd of creatures bent on your destruction, George. Las Vegas, Nevada, crashing through a window out into the bright lights of Fremont Street. And in the spare second, in that moment of mania where that place of wonder ceases to exist, a light takes you all. Rob and George, you both blink as the bright light recedes. And as you each look in the room that you are in, it's a small room, windowless, a poorly decorated office. Shannon, you appear as your eyes, bright with this light, begins to refocus, and you see 3 teenagers in front of you. You have a cigarette clutched between your fingers, dumpsters all around you as you catch a smoke hidden from the view of anybody else. Mitch, Jerry, and Ben, you are in a theater, and several flashlight-wielding silhouettes are approaching. In the office with Rob and George, the door opens and a young man enters. Out at the dumpster, the 3 boys turn. In the theater, the silhouettes come into view. As the eyes of the theater manager, the 3 boys, and the silhouettes fall on the Autobots, they all share one characteristic. Each of the eyes that now look at each of you swirl with musical notes. A voice creeps inside your minds. Let's try this again.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for another episode of Atari Midnight. And if you saw the last one, you'll know that we're in 1987 again. And if you haven't seen the last one, get the fuck out of here. Go watch the last one. It's on YouTube. What are you doing, crazy? That being said, if you like what we do here and you want to support this channel, the best way to do that is by joining us over on Patreon. Link in the description down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, but now slightly different, you will see the corruption bar in the center of the screen. Greg has approached me and wants to play a little Fate today and for the foreseeable future. If you are tipping the corruption bar, please include in your comment either hashtag Michigan or hashtag Maggie. When we reach the proper amount of Michigans or Maggie-related tips, either a good thing or a bad thing will happen, depending on which one is hit. So if you'd like to affect us for the positive, be that an item, a boon, or if you'd like to affect us for the negative, be that murder, you can do so. That's on you. That being said, you watched the previously on trailer, and I turned things over to Greg to bring us back to the 80s that never could be.
Oh, this 80s definitely could have been. It just, we would all be dead and batshit crazy and stuff. But hey, everybody, I'm Greg. I'm going to be your GM for this evening as we play Free League's Tales from the Loop. And in this particular instance, as you watched the previously on, our heroes are back in 1987, specifically at the very beginning of their adventures, before they had acquired any of their vast experience, knowledge, wealth, items, anything. They are simply tweenagers and teenagers in the town of Garrett, Maryland. So before I go into my little spiel to kind of set us up for everything, I will again be posing a question to all of my players, and I will go back and have them introduce themselves, the characters they're playing, and then answer the question as their characters. And so you may find this question to be slightly familiar, as I will tell you this. You are back in 1987. You retain all of the memories that you've had throughout the entirety of your life. You are 20-somethings in the bodies of your 1987 counterparts. And so, friends, I will ask you this question. Are you happy? Now, before we get into it any farther, though, of course, the very idea of being able to go back into time, back into the right before choices were made that either benefited you or hurt you, or maybe you look back on and wish you could do it all over. In fact, I will quote none other than Edward Money when I say, I want to go back. I want to do it all over, but I can't go back. I know. I want to go back because I'm feeling so much older. And friends, the Autobots find themselves in the middle of the events of their very first adventure. They carry the knowledge of their older selves with them, but what will they do with it? Will they use this knowledge to change the course of events they know are yet to come? Will they visit those they've lost? Plenty of their friends and family have passed along the way. Now they are in a time when they live. Do they visit them? And the last question that I ask just out of the air is, will they survive? Because friends, while we are playing a Tales from the Loop system, we are coming from things from the flood where the players can die. Now, in Tales from the Loop, they try to mitigate that a little bit by saying the kids can be knocked out. But friends, I'm here to tell you that we are currently in a very terminal situation, and any of the protagonists you see on the screen could end at any time. And that's why, as Mike suggested, fate can be played by our audience, our live audience here on Twitch. If you contribute to the contribution bar, you can hashtag Maggie for something positive, or you can hashtag Michigan to make things worse for the players and better for me. I am carrying forward one Michigan from our first episode of this season, and I will use that. It's already baked into the cake, and I'll let you know when it comes into play. But right now, my friends, I will give you a little disclaimer just so we are all on the same page as to what Tales from the Loop entails in this session. Atari Midnight takes place in the golden age of the 80s and the 90s, where everything seemed possible, provided you had the right soundtrack. However, despite the neon and the gnarly, tension and terror hide beneath each of the wall posters adorning our bedrooms, just under the band names and the lyrics on our lips of our favorite songs. In the town of Garrett, Maryland, mysteries will be presented and challenges met. Some who hear our song will succeed and become legends. Others will fall, becoming cautionary tales or faces on milk cartons. Atari Midnight may be too radical for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. And so, my friends, I go around to my players now, and as your 1987 counterparts, I ask the question, are you happy? G, let's start with you.
Hi. Yeah, I think in this moment, Scarlet Blake is not happy. Because she remembers everything.
Okay.
And now she's back in a little tiny body again. So, yeah.
Okay. Good answer. Frags, how about you?
I will say, continuing from last time, fairly indifferent, but until Rob figures out what's happened and where he's at, he will become very happy.
Rhino, same question.
I think not. I think Butts is very concerned. He doesn't trust what's happening, and he's kind of going into a fight mode. I think he's kind of going to put up the barriers.
Gotcha. Alrighty, let's go to Meta.
Hello. Yep, still unhappy for sure. Situation given what it was right before this happened, still not happy.
Gotcha. Bitters, same question.
Jerry's probably happier than he has been in a while. Until somebody pinches him and he wakes up anyway.
Gotcha. And last but certainly not least, the man outside of time, Mike.
Mitch is all of the emotions at once, I think, in this moment. There is some happy in there.
Okay. Well, I guess A mixture is always best. A palette can contain happy, it can contain sad, indifferent, and that's represented by all of our characters on the screen. Now, to recap again, the previously on stated a lot of this, but I just want to let you and position you all so you know where you happen to be. Right now, we are centered on the Maplehurst Mall in 1987 in the town of Garrett, Maryland. Surrounding the theater and positioned around the structure that is this commercial edifice to capitalism. Shannon, you are outside smoking by the dumpsters with three boys that you knew back in your youth, Dutch, Chris, and me, short for Barney. George and Rob, you are in the theater manager's office, having been caught in an R-rated movie of which you are not the appropriate age. Ben, Mitch, and Jerry, you are still in the theater because you have not been caught in Preadtor, a movie that you shouldn't be in. So, friends, as we position everybody and set everybody, I would like to start in the manager's office. As all of you are currently being approached, the door has opened to the manager's office. There are two, really, they're just older teenagers, young 20-somethings. They are the managers that you remember from the AMC 6 theaters at the Maplehurst Mall. And as they walk in, they bear the telltale signs of possession, at least as you've come to know it, as their eyes have become completely white with black notes, song notes going around and helixing through the eyes themselves. In the theater proper, there are three ushers who have flashlights bearing the same telltale marks in their eyes. And Shannon, outside at the dumpster, the three boys that you knew in your youth have turned to you, their eyes mimicking those of the others that are possessed. And so we'll start in the manager's office as we have Rob and we have George. Friends, you have not seen one another for a very long time. However, at present, you look like you did in 1987. And to be very honest, you see the other person, you're not sure exactly how this works. So for the first time, we will go to two people that have not talked in a while as you are sitting in the manager's office and the door begins to turn and these two managers are beginning to come in. I give you, 10 seconds.
I think as soon as like coming to and realizing, I think Butts is going to go over to Rob and just, like lift up the eyelid just to inspect his eyes to make sure he's not one of them.
Yeah, he's gonna let you do that, but at the same time, he's gonna like grab your cheeks and kind of squeeze, pull at your face. You real?
I'm real. Are you real? I think you're real.
I'm the realist.
I think from there it would turn into a hug.
Yeah.
Kind of like a maybe a nervous or a uncomfortable giggle.
Are we kidding?
Dude, I think so, but we gotta figure this out. We gotta get out of here.
What happened? Do we meet? We're probably gonna need to meet at the teletrain, right?
And with that, as you guys are in this moment of like shared embrace, touching faces, looking in eyes, hugging each other, realizing that two youth-filled friends have finally returned to their town and the bodies that they inhabited in 87, we will go outside to the dumpsters. Shannon, you are finishing. What is the cigarette of Shannon's choice? If Shannon had a chance to pick her favorite from 87, let's say. A great year for cigarettes.
A classic Marlboro. That's it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Straight up cowboy killer. Great.
Yeah.
Fine.
So as you are a fine,
yeah.
87 was a perfect year for the cowboy killers. And so as you are burning the cherry down towards the filter, the three boys that you knew in your youth turn to you, Dutch, Chris, and Nee, and all of them drop the cigarettes that they are smoking because their eyes have become milky white with those black song notes floating and helixing across them. Shannon, you're by yourself as far as just you and these three others. What do you do?
Oh. Shannon knows something is janky. She just is like trying as quickly as she can to process the moments and seconds that led up to this sudden change. I think she kind of just like starts taking a step back, like putting some distance between her and them. as she kind of comes to realize that this is not really them, or she thinks it's not really them. She's not really sure what's going on, but she's just gonna be like, I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go.
They all sort of cock their heads like the RCA dog when you start talking, as if they're trying to decipher what you're saying. But as you take a step back, independent almost of their own motor functions, you see each of them, all three, take an equal step towards you, keeping that same distance that they started with. I'll give you, that was about 5 seconds. I'll give you 5 more seconds. I'm feeling generous. 10 seconds for everyone.
Does Shannon see a easy way out, or is she kind of cornered with the three of them around her?
You can go, the easier way would be able to go deeper into what would be ultimately the fire exits from the theater would open up into this kind of made alley. The other way would lead towards the parking lot that is in the kind of like the mall proper parking lot. And there are dumpsters littered throughout here. So it is kind of a congested area. But for someone like Shannon, and again, just a kid in 87, it's not something that's insurmountable. You could definitely pick a direction and go. Or you could try. I mean,
Huh.
I'm saying you've got a great shot at it.
I think the brain in me is telling me dumpsters are not that easy to move, right? They're kind of hefty. So that's not going to be an option, I don't think, to create a barrier, especially not in 5 seconds. I think we're going to go into the theater through the exit door, or at least try to.
Go deeper into the alleyway goes down in kind of dog legs.
Yeah.
Basically, all 6 of the theaters in there would empty out into this man-made alley. I would say, too, that Shannon has probably been in here long enough, even if she casts her mind back to whenever she would smoke in the dumpster, that there is another exit ultimately at the other end that pops out in the parking lot. So it's not like a box canyon or something like that.
Sure.
You'll definitely be able to escape. So
Yep.
you take off and run deeper into the depths of the theater alley, and you hear pursuit behind you. Let's go into the theater, my friends. And inside the theater, as we have Ben, Jerry, and Mitch, and we see these ushers that are coming forward and the lights are flashing over, but even so much as the mimicked movement of these ushers, it seems that their eyes are completely independent of this practice. They are scanning separately, looking for something else. They don't need the light to find what they're looking for. And as they are scanning each and every seat, the 3 of you have 10 seconds to do something. So I will ask Mitch and I will ask Jerry, what do you do in your 10 seconds?
Mitch reaches over, grabs Jerry by the shirt, and pulls him towards the floor and just says, shh, and starts crawling under the seats.
Mish, yush.
We have to go. We have to go.
Ben.
And he motions
Jerry,
for Ben.
if the 2 of you look over at Ben has stood up. And even though he is much smaller than he will eventually be as the lead singer of Forget the Bunk Beds, he looks around in his oversized fatigue jacket bearing the name Mackenzie across the heart. And as he spins, his eyes are almost equally wide as those of the approaching antagonists. We'll call them what you will. But his eyes go wide as he looks around, and finally they light on Jerry. Scarlet! Jerry, where is she, man? She's not here, dude. And you see that he is manic. He's scanning everywhere, and he's drawing attention not only of the ushers, but of other theater goers. You hear shh, and shushes coming from back behind as people are telling him to sit down. And he stands up on the chair as he is doing his own scan, and he starts to yell for Scarlet.
Get him!
Jerry, he's gone through these scenarios a lot in his mind, but he's never seen it quite like this. He didn't expect panic from Ben, but he remembers back, and is Ben holding his cup of water as he's panicking?
He has a courtesy cup of water because Ben can't afford anything else. But unbeknownst to Ben, he has forgotten about the courtesy cup of water that is in his hand and filled as he is screaming for Scarlet. And it has become a full scream at this point.
Jerry's just going to hiss to Mitch, go, and grab the cup of water, throw it at an usher, and grab Ben by the collar and just drag him.
You do, and it's easy to pull him off of, because at this point, Jerry is much bigger than Ben. You are able to just grab him and pull him from the chair as it kind of closes and with a rattle. And the cup is easily extracted from his hand. It flies towards, roll me a force, just you have our first roll of the session as a cup of courtesy water goes flying at a possessed usher. A sentence that you would never say unless you play on Unmade Gaming.
I got a single success.
Fantastic. And with that single success, you also strike as the water splashes and very unpossessed like you see the flashlight hit the ground and begin to roll, kind of illuminating faces, one of them familiar. And as it goes to reach and scrub its possessed eyes, Ben screams, "Where is she, Jerry?" And friends, if you will, because this is the 80s that never was, sometimes the 90s that never was, we like to incorporate music here on Unmade Gaming inside Atari Twilight and Atari Midnight. And I would like you to go to your Spotify playlist if you could. And I would like you to cue up track number 1, One for the Mockingbird by Cutting Crew. And friends, as this starts to play, the very first song that was ever played on Atari Twilight. And with that ringing through the theater, even eclipsing Arnold Schwarzenegger during the Preadtor montage, "Where is she?" we zip away from the theater into Garrett proper, and more specifically, into the red pickup truck of the fire chief of the Garrett Fire Department. And inside, behind the wheel, Dean Blake drives as he turns to his daughter, who is sitting 12 years old in the passenger seat. "Honey, Coach Saltz is a real ass. Yeah, well, he's a bit of a bugger. I'll talk to him, and so will Coach Cook. He'll reconsider. He just needs to see you play." At this point, Scarlet, you find yourself in your 12-year-old body. And this conversation is something that you remember as the very first time you, a player of American football and the only girl in the state to have made it as high as you have on a team predominantly, exclusively filled with boys, you were told by the high school coach that has told both your father and your current middle school coach that no girl will ever play on a team that he coaches. You're back. You're riding in your dad's work truck. The radio is on, and the smell of his Old Spice and the truck's worn leather upholstery colors the scene. He is wearing his wedding ring.
I think just before he speaks, as soon as that bright light fades, she sits up and strains against the seatbelt, and she says, "He's alive!" And then she just looks at her dad. "What?
You okay?
What?
Listen, Slinger, it'll be fine. We'll get you that tryout.
Wait. She looks at him and she looks around and she kind of tugs on her seatbelt. What's happening?
It's just the closed-mindedness of some of the guys in this town, Scarlet. They are not used to having a girl play football.
Oh my god. Can you pull over?
Are you going to be sick? Honey, are you going to be sick?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna hurl. And she undoes the seatbelt and she starts like opening the door. Like
whoa! He reaches over and does like the dad bracing as he begins to pull over,
This
and
isn't
even
right.
puts on the singular globe on the top of the fire truck, the chief's truck. Now, friends, we're going to take a bit of a time out right here because I want to let you behind the curtain for just a second. Greg didn't know exactly what his big bad would know about 1987. And so I didn't want to stack the deck for the big bad. So I decided to have the nothing roll for a specific set of knowledge. And he failed.
Ooh.
So as you all are pulling over, you hear the radio kind of issue a blast of static for a second. And you hear, "Oh, sorry to cut the cutting crew short, but I have an instant dedication. This one goes out to Scarlet from Ben. The theaters are where it's at. Hope to see you there. From Ben. Sounds like someone is looking for a date, or my name isn't Jackie Davis Rock. Just remember, fellow rockers, no matter the age, love springs eternal. Never say never." And now for a little Eye of the Tiger here on Go 106.1 FM, the home for all the rock that's fit to spin.
You bastard. Okay, that makes her pause as she's trying to throw herself out of a moving vehicle. And she has her hands on the door handle, and she's just like looking at the radio, and then when it goes away and the opening riffs of Eye of the Tiger start, she shoulders the door open.
Whoa, your dad has stopped the truck and he's kind of confused for a moment. He's like, "Is that you on the radio? Do you have a boyfriend?" And you are effectively stopped as you are basically where the Chat and Chew is. You're about 1.5 miles away from the theater, if that helps you give you a position here.
Okay. She leaps out of the car and stumbles down the embankment, and she looks around. And she tries to get her bearings, and she turns and just starts running. She just leaves her dad.
Any direction? Are you going in a specific direction, or are you
back into the city, like back towards, I guess, downtown or wherever? I'm always imagining that Chad is on the outskirts of town, right? So I guess she'll start heading towards the Maplehurst Mall.
Okay, as you're running, the road is the straightest way to get there. So are you staying on the road? Are you cutting through? Are you, again, if you're going as straight as the crow flies, it'll be the road. But if you're trying to evade your father, then you could cut through yards and things like that. I leave it completely up to you.
Is he giving chase?
He is extremely confused. He thinks that you're being sick, so you can see that he's taking off his own lap belt. He's putting the truck into park. He is getting ready to exit the vehicle himself. Obviously, he thinks that you're sick. He kind of casts a couple glances at the radio, not sure in this moment of mania what is exactly happening, but he's preparing to leave the vehicle as you sort of get your own bearings and make your choice.
Yeah, I think before she starts running, she turns and looks at him and says, "I gotta go. I gotta go." And
honey, calm down. Where do you have to go?
I'm fine. Just and she's like backing away from him, and like if he like reaches out to like grab her or touch her, she like backs away. It's like, no, I'm fine. Really, this isn't right. This isn't right. And
it's okay.
I don't know what's
We're
going on.
We're going to work all through it, hon. You don't have to worry about any of this. The coaches will understand.
I don't care about the coaches. It's fine. It's fine. I have to get to Ben. I have to get to Heather. I have to get to Ricky. I have to get to JD. And I gotta go. This isn't right.
It's late. We have to go home, hon.
No.
Let me just get in the car and I'll take you wherever you need to be.
No, I can get there myself. I can. Really?
He puts his hands down into his pockets. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know the face claim of Dean, it is Tom Selleck. And as Dean looks at his daughter, he puts his hands in his pockets. I can help you. I'll take you wherever you need to go.
and I think she walks forward and puts her hands like on his arms, and then I think she lets like this memory comes back that she hasn't been in contact with her father and she doesn't know how long. It's both not it both feels like yesterday but also a lifetime ago, and she looks at him. Dad, really, you can't help me right now.
He seems hurt by that. I mean, I might not be able to fix anything, but I can give you a ride. I can take you home. I can take you to your friends. I can take you wherever you need to be. Don't. I can't leave you alone. You're my little girl.
I know. And I'll always be your little girl, Dad, but I have to save myself.
You're scaring me, honey. What does that mean?
I don't know, but I'll be right back, okay? And she lets him go and backs up.
Okay. And you see his head kind of fall.
I think she reluctantly takes a couple steps back and then turns and starts running down the street.
And as we know, even at this time, Scarlet is a tremendous athlete, and you are essentially a mile out from the Maplehurst Mall. If that is your destination, how fast can Scarlet run a mile?
Surprisingly, not that fast when she's only 12 years old at this point in time. I think she's running, and she probably gets maybe like 100 yards before she's like, and she has to like slow down and what the hell? What's and she starts running, and as she's going towards the mall, she kind of jerks. She goes, no, we have to find Heather. We have to find Heather. But Ben said he's at the mall. I know. How did that come through the radio? We got to find Heather. I got to find Heather and Ricky and JD. And JD. Oh, crap. And she starts running away from the mall.
Away from the mall?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so let us go back to the mall that Scarlet is running away from as we go into the manager's office with Rob and George. As the doors open up, the two of you are now faced with two of these, I guess, older teens now possessed. As they say nothing, enter the small space. The door's currently open. I will give the two of you a moment to act. You may do what you will, and I'll tell you roles that are needed.
I think Butts is going for a kick to the groin.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to do.
And I assume that we're like on the floor because we like landed hard, right? So we're kind of like kicking up in. So
if you all want to tag team this one and go for a double nut shot, I will allow a force roll from you both.
All right.
As Rob and George drop right back into their old ways as if they have never left each other's sides.
2 and 1.
Yeah, 2 successes for him, 1 success for me. I only get 1 nut.
Right? Yeah, right. And George gets them both. So as one nut gets hit twice and the other one gets hit once, the combination of 3 nut shots, you are able to blast the first manager back with tremendous nether region shots that would have made anybody cry or weep. This does bring him to his knees. However, he doesn't make a word when he drops. The other one begins to move down and reach for both of you. I am going to need move rolls for you both.
Oh, no.
I got a 2 success.
0.
All right. Excuse me. All right, Frags, I will allow you to give one of your successes to George.
Mhm.
But if anything, this is basically the help action at this point. We're going to do it like posthumously. But as you give the help action and get George out of the way, I will let you know that if you do this, you are both tied together for the remainder of this encounter, which means if one of you fails without any successes that ever come from it, you will both fail. Do you still wish to give him a success?
I'm ride or die. Yeah.
So, George, as this guy reaches down, you begin to move, and your hand, just because you're smaller, you're used to being a larger, stronger person, your hand slips underneath you and you move backwards. Plus, this is a different body than what you're used to. And as it slips and you realize he's going to get you, Rob grabs your ankle and pulls you out of the way like someone being pulled from underneath a car they've been working on. And as you roll forward, the two of you have a moment where the door is unimpeded. It is open. And friends, I'll give you the shot. You can fight or you can fly. What do, you fools?
We gotta
Run.
cheese it.
Yeah. Let's get out.
Roll me another move. And again, both of you are bound by the successes of the other.
3 successes.
1 success.
You two haul ass. And because you have 3 successes, Rob, I will allow you to close the door behind you if you wish.
I wish.
Okay. Do you want to do anything else to it? You can stick around if you want to try to sabotage the door to keep it from opening, if you want to try to put something in front of it. But for a brief moment, that door is closed. It is not locked. It doesn't lock from this side. It has a keyhole, but you don't have the key. You have it closed. What do you do?
Did we come back with even a modicum of whatever powers we might have had?
What powers are you, Rob, thinking of?
I kind of want to melt the knob to where it doesn't turn, just in one quick motion, just out of sheer panic. And as I'm pulling it shut, I just kind of want to jank the knob so it kind of just locks itself and it won't turn. Because I assume I don't have a key to actually lock it. And if that's if that's a little too far fetched,
roll me a charm.
Okie dokie. 1 success.
George, as you are running, you realize that Rob is stopped. When you turn around, you see Rob's hand light and ring with eldritch fire as he bends the knob of the door into something that can no longer turn. And you hear a second later that knob try to be turned, and now it seems to become something of trying to just break through the portal itself. The knob is holding, there is a lock, and the eldritch fire disappears from the hand of Rob Ott.
I think in that moment, George just whispers to himself, must have learned a new trick. That's new. And at that point, I think he's kind of beckoning him, like, Rob, we got to go.
Yeah. Had to do a thing.
Yeah,
you guys are able to make it past the ticket counter. You're able to go back into Preadtor. You're able to make it outside. What is the direction that Rob and George take, if it is even the same direction, now that you are free from the manager's office?
I feel like in the heat of that moment, we'd end up running outside first.
For sure outside first, yeah.
Because as far as we know, we're the only 2 here. I guess we don't know what happened to the others. So if we're standing outside, Rob's gonna have a revelation of where they are, when they are, and he's gonna kind of turn and say, Gotta go see Maggie. And he's going to take off.
We can't split. I think I would try to hold him and stop him.
Then that's where we'll separate from you two, as Rob goes to move. It's a short downhill run to the paperback exchange. And as he turns to move, George, you're able to grab him, issue your plea, and that's when we go back inside the theater. Or no, I'm sorry, we go to the alley where Shannon is running from 3 of her would-be friends. Shannon, you have a lead. You can hear movement behind you. You haven't turned around to actually see how close they are, if they're making progress, if they're trying to box you in. And in front of you, you have a relatively straight shot if you want to really move in that direction. Do you wish to continue deeper into the alleyway? Are you trying to put distance? Tell me what you'd like to do.
Shannon is thinking if this is the time period that she thinks it is, then she needs to find a way to get out and away from the mall. But she really doesn't know exactly what's going on, and frankly, she doesn't trust it, so she's not really sticking around to find out. So, it would have to be whatever the most obvious escape route is for Shannon, given that she's familiar with this particular alley.
Absolutely. Okay, first off, I would like you to roll roll me an empathize right now. This is basically a way to hearken back into the past to see how much of this night you remember. It's been a bit.
Yeah, with my total empatheticness. Oh, wow, 2 successes. I'm so empathetic right now.
Well, the dice demand it.
Yeah.
So at this point, Meta, Shannon would remember that this is the night that basically changed everything as far as the dynamic between Chris and Dutch and me and Shannon. In fact, it is at this time that you remember smoking behind the theaters by the dumpsters that you 3 or 4 had a huge argument, an argument that ultimately sundered the friendships of the 4 of you. You still kind of hung out for a little bit, but this was the night that sort of set things into motion. In fact, you remember leaving them this night and them disappearing the next day. They reappeared a little bit later, but they were different the next time you saw them. But in this moment, you know that this is a monumentous night, at least for your little group that you remember, if this is in fact that time. And as you look around, I'm giving this one to Shannon because Shannon's observation skills are through the roof at this point. You'd believe it firmly to be this night in 1987. And then you can roll a move if you would like, or an investigate. If you're looking for alternate ways out of here, move if you just want to put distance between yourself and them.
Is there any way for me to find kind of purchase on something higher where they can't necessarily get to me, but she can try to talk to them? Anything like that?
Sure, roll me that investigate, and we'll see if you can
Okay.
find a place.
1 success.
You see coming up that there is another dumpster that is there sort of for like the back half of the area. And you see it's not a fire escape, but it is a roof access ladder that is just above the dumpster. And so if you were to run and jump up that ladder, you could definitely get height on them. Full disclosure, if you do so and they get underneath the ladder, you will have but one way to go. But if you want height, you can get it.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Was that a yes? You're going up?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
We're going up. Why not?
Fantastic. So you're able to quickly leap and jump up. And as you start climbing up and you turn around, you realize that the 3 are moving out of the alleyway, back the way that they came. They are retreating at this point. The sounds of their footfalls still echo in the alleyway. But just as you turn, you see the very last of them, Chris, turn around and look in your direction, and his eyes are normal.
What? Either a trap or something changed. Or both. Shit. Shannon's gonna go back down and try to follow them.
Okay. Would you like to try to be sneaky or you want to catch up to them? Move to catch up, sneak to be sneaky.
Decisions. Oh man. She's gonna catch up. Just gonna move.
Roll that move.
2 successes.
You're actually able to use your position on the ladder to get yourself a bit of momentum and a bit of a head start as you kind of Prince of Persia, jump down on top of the dumpster, trash can back down to the ground as you hit and start running towards the exit that you had been running from back out into the mall proper. As you get closer, I'm going to give you this one for free. As you kind of round the corner, you see the 3 boys jumping over the far hill towards the switchback behind the parking lot. There's a hill that Maplehurst Mall is on the very top of a hill.
Yeah.
And they're going down the back side of this hill. And you see Chris, the very last one, sort of looks around and then jumps off over the guardrail and down into what would be the switchback into the darkness of the evening. And that is where we will go back inside the theater to Jerry and Mitch and the wailing Ben. I rolled for him too, and he also failed. So just Ben's in this state. Have fun. Jerry and Mitch, what would you like to do? As you've got one person that's wet, and there are 2 others looking for you, what would you like to do?
Well, I believe I told Mitch to go, so I'm behind him, dragging Ben. Trying to explain to Ben, she wasn't here. We'll find her.
And when you say something like that, it's almost as if Ben doesn't realize where or when he is, because he doesn't. And he's like, she was right here, Jerry. She was right with us. As he's looking around, he hasn't looked at you yet. He hasn't even noticed Mitch. You're his world entire, and he's looking to you for answers. And his eyes completely wide with panic in a face that you may have forgotten, that face that always looked at Jerry as the big brother, the big protector. Even when he was being a massive dick to Ben, he always looked at him as his hero. And at this moment, that small face, even with the wisdom behind the eyes, looks at you again for guidance. Brother, what happened?
We got another chance.
What?
Look around. Mitch.
As you direct
can
him
see
towards Mitch, Mitch has turned around. Like he's doing that that walk or that crawl where you kind of like look behind you. And he is fully looking over the backs of Jerry and Ben. And he's trying to figure out where Sam is and look and see if she realizes that anything is weird.
Roll me an investigate.
One success.
You do see Sam, and she seems to be looking around. If your memory, if you recall correctly, she remained in the theater when George was caught. However, in this scenario, she was never under threat, as the ushers were not looking for her anymore. They were looking specifically, it seems, for the 3 of you. And so now that she's no longer a target, she's just sitting there, and you can see her head kind of moving back and forth, her side ponytail bouncing off the back of her seat. And as you are doing your crab crawl back, looking over the shoulders of Jerry and Ben, your shoulders bump into a set of boots. And as your eyes look up, you see Chief Rugen.
Well, shit, Greg.
And right when he looks down and right when you look up with Jerry and Ben in front of you and the ushers coming up the aisle, on the screen, Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "You're one ugly motherfucker," as you look up. That's terrible, Arnold. I like choked halfway through that. Damn you.
I think as Mitch bumps into him and like there's that second where like the slow look up and the slow look down, I think Mitch snaps back to reality, and he like on all fours, he throws his weight into one shoulder and that shoulder into the corresponding knee of Rugen to sort of make his knee buckle as he scurries underneath his now bow-legged frame.
Roll me a force.
Absolutely. 1 success.
You do just that. And as you kind of hit the lower leg of Rugen, he ultimately lifts his kind of shin out of the way, and you hear him mutter kind of just a little issuance of pain as he is sitting there, and he lets you past. In fact, he steps forward and steps in front of both Jerry and Ben. And at this point, one of the lights from the ushers illuminates Rugen's face. And he tells the ushers, "Boys, won't you sit down? I got this." And the ushers hesitate for a moment, and they sit down in the theater, their lights still on. Rugen turns around to the three of you, his facial features not illuminated as the screen sort of casts him into shadow. And he leans down to you, Jerry, and he says, "Boss says have a good night."
Jerry just stares at him for a moment, dumbfounded. He's got a lot of emotions going on right now, and he has no idea what that means.
Roll me a contact. There's something there, just in the corner of your mind. Maybe I'll let you roll again in a little bit whenever things are less hectic and you get a chance to think. But at this moment, Mitch, Ben, and Jerry have a way out of this theater. Do you take it? Rugen's right in front of you. You could change history. What do you do?
Mitch looks to Jerry. There's like a quick nod towards the exit, but then he stands there and just waits for Jerry.
I think Jerry will follow, but eyeing Rugen, I promise we'll meet again. And then he'll drag Ben with him.
He just smiles. You can catch just a glint off of his profile when he turns back towards the screen. The three of you make it out into the lobby of the AMC 6 theaters here in the Maplehurst Mall. Where do you go?
Mitch, in classic frantic Mitch, turns to Jerry and Ben, and I don't think he realizes that Ben doesn't understand what's happening, and he just wheels on them and goes, "Ronnie got captured by something. We have to go around back. That's where Preadtor is. Remember?"
Yeah, quick.
Let's go. And he starts to run towards the back of the movie theater.
As you exit into the open air of the Maplehurst Mall, I need an investigate roll from everybody. I need Shannon. I need Rob. I need George. I need Jerry. I need Mitch. I need an investigate roll, and we're going to see how many you get here, friends.
I got 1 success.
I see we have 2 from Shannon, one from George, so a total of 4 right now. Those of you, and in fact, those of you that have successes too, if you want to use luck, if you want to use your pride to try to re-roll some more or roll any successes, you are kids again. You have luck. You can try it and use it if you'd like.
Luck is only re-rolling the failures, right?
Correct.
Yeah, let's burn a luck.
Greg, remind us, How often do the lucks refresh in this iteration?
I would say per session, but remember that luck disappears when you get over the age of 15.
Right. Okay. Cool. I will also jump on the luck train.
I got pretty lucky.
Alrighty, so we have now a plethora of luck, or of investigate successes that have come through. With that, it looks like Jerry, you have the most at this point. So Jerry, here's what you see. Everyone else will see this after you do, but you see it first. You see the Volkswagen Rabbit sitting out in the parking lot. You see Veronica behind the wheel of that Rabbit. And you watch as something hits her, as you watch her head rock to the side, and you watch her being drugged completely unconscious through the air and over the hill. A beat later, the rest of you see, you don't see the strike. You don't see her being ripped from the Volkswagen, but you do see her body kind of levitating through the air at a rapid pace and over the hill.
I guess I have a question for Rob. Is he even trying to pay attention to that, or is he trying to book it to Maggie?
I leave that completely up to you all. Meta, I saw you talking, but you were muted. Yeah.
Yeah, I realized that. Is that the same direction that Dutch, Nee, and Chris went? Like that hill? Okay, well, Shannon's headed in that direction anyway, so now she's just got an extra body she's looking after.
And because you all had successes in this moment, and Shannon, this is something that you've never experienced before, whether it be in the past. I mean, this is something you might have heard about from the others, but as far as actually seeing it with your own eyes, this is new territory for you. And as this all happens, I will tell each and every one of you that you have a choice in this moment. Your time in Garrett, as in any place that you live, is finite. In this moment, I gave you homework today that said if you have time in Garrett in 1987, before any of your adventures happened, when everybody you know and love, friends, family, are still alive, they don't know about what's going to happen to them. They don't have a letter like Doc Brown given by Marty McFly to warn of such dangers. You, friends, are that letter. Do you go? Do you tell somebody what will happen? Do you try to save someone? Do you try to kill someone? Because though you appear to be 12 and 13-year-olds, you are not. In fact, we witnessed somebody getting gunned down in the last episode, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. I ask you all that in this moment, in Garrett 1987, you have a path before you with multiple forks. Where do you go?
Shannon's going after the boys.
Jerry didn't even hesitate. When he saw that happen, he started running and just was yelling at everybody else. It's the Lost Boys! The Lost Boys!
I'm still trying to get to Maggie.
Scarlet, this question is for you as well.
Oh, sorry. Where?
No, just decide where do you want to send Scarlet in this moment of mania.
Oh, she is having a little internal conflict right now. So, yeah, I think she's running, and then all of a sudden she like turns directions. She's like, "We got to get to the mall," and she's like, We gotta find Heather. We gotta find Ricky and JD. The nothing is back. We gotta warn them. And then she stops running and she's like, "No, I'm in charge. I'm in charge now. I'm the captain. I'm the quarterback. And we gotta go find Heather. We have to make sure she's safe. That nothing isn't trying to get her." But I know. And she looks towards the mall and she looks really torn. I don't know what to do. What if he's not there? You had your chance to be in charge. Now it's my turn. I have to go find Heather. I have to go tell JD what will happen if he leaves. And I'm scarred for life, by the way. Why did that guy have a sock on his wiener? God! And she's gonna stomp and she's gonna continue. She's gonna head towards Heather's house.
Okay. That is towards the center of town. Just
Sure.
full disclosure. Okay.
Yes, I don't think she's ever been in Heather's house. She probably hasn't been any further than the curb, but she remembers where she lives.
The house next door is for sale, I heard.
Probably, yeah.
Fuck you.
She's gonna head
Blake.
that way. Yeah, she's gonna head
Fuck
that
you from
way.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so as Scarlet is moving towards Heather's inside Garrett proper, we go back and I will ask now our remaining two, George, Mitch, everyone has decided a direction in this, a second chance at 1987, Predator 2, if you will. Where do you go? By the way, everybody, go to your Spotify playlist, put on number 2, 1979, acoustic version by Smashing Pumpkins.
George is really torn. He doesn't want the group to be split. He wants to hold Rob and say there's time later. But I don't know if he's had enough time to actually embrace Rob to stop him from running.
I'm not sure. It would definitely take a roll to stop Rob, I'm going to guess. Rob, I don't want to speak for you, Frags, but I think Rob has sort of made up his mind. So at this point, George and Mitch, you would see Rob heading in one direction. You would see Jerry, followed by Shannon, heading in another direction, the direction where you saw Veronica go. But in this moment, the two of you are within 15 feet of each other for the first time in a decade. George and Mitch.
I think there's a moment where Mitch is just as torn as George, right? But for different reasons. Like he's sort of stuck in place in this parking lot, and looking at Shannon, who like he understands who Shannon is, but also knows that they weren't here, and understands what Jerry is doing, and has an idea of what's happening with Rob, and is watching, Butts, attempt to keep everyone together. And he's sort of back and forth between the two groups, waiting for some kind of answer so that he doesn't have to make a choice.
George?
I think at that point, that's where he's turning around and said, hey, it's been a minute.
It's only been a second, bud.
I don't know what that means. Look, people are running. We'll find Rob later. We know we got to go help Ronnie. Let's handle that first and then go from there.
He nods, and you can see that there is almost disappointment in his face, if you can track that in a 13-year-old grubby kid. And he starts running towards the back of the mall. And if Butts is with him, there is a slight shift in Mitch's gait. And if you're very perceptive, you realize that he's not following Jerry. He's following Shannon.
George, are you following?
Yes. Yeah, I'm running into the woods.
So, just for no apparent reason, Jerry, Shannon, Mitch, George. In that order. All right.
Seems so.
let's put a pin in that one for right now. And let's go instead as Rob, you are running down the hill from the Maplehurst Mall and you see Garrett proper opening up in front of you. It's nighttime, it's late night, but there's still street lights on. There are still the gas stations open. There's still light traffic here and there. But in front of you, your home, the Paperback Exchange, stands in its 1987 comic book and trade paperback glory. The lights are dark. The sign on the front says closed, but not forever. And you see another figure running from the opposite side of town towards you. And for a moment, Rob and Scarlet, you see one another as you meet on Main Street of Garrett.
Rob?
Scarlet?
Yeah.
Are you Scarlet or are you Scarlet?
Yeah.
Big Scarlet?
I'm both. I don't know how. She goes to Rob and she puts her hands on her. I went through the portal after you guys, and somehow I ended up in a grown-up body.
I found Mitch.
The real one?
The real Mitch.
Where's the wizard? Where did he go?
You
don't know?
Yeah, no, I know. No, Mitch, and the clown, and we fought, and I tackled him real good, and now I'm a kid again. While he's talking, he's gonna reach for the door of the Paperback Exchange, and like he's trying to jiggle it. I don't know if it's open or not. Like if the door's unlocked.
The door's locked, but I'm going to give you this one for free. 1, you know where the hide key is. 2, you see light coming from the back office through the beads that hang down between the back office and the retail floor.
She looks.
Sorry, I gotta see. And he's gonna knock. Like I know where Rob knows where the key is, but he doesn't want to like just scare the ever loving crap out of Maggie. So he's gonna kind of like knock and see if she'll come and open the door for him. They went after something in the hills. They ran that way. I got stuff going on.
She nods. Are you okay?
As okay as I can be.
I gotta find Heather and warn them about the nothing.
That's something. I know where my guys are at. They're over the river and through the woods. They ran.
Is Ben with them? Is Ben with them? Is he okay?
Did I see
Ben?
Yeah, Ben was being he's lockstep. He's Jerry's shadow, very similar to how he was in 1987.
Yeah, no, Ben is yeah, it's the whole group.
See, I told you he'd be okay.
Who?
My older self married Ben.
Okay.
She blushes.
And he's gonna keep knocking. I don't really know what you guys did back in the now.
They're rock stars.
Okay.
It's really weird. There was animal pants and socks on wieners, and it was really weird.
That tracks.
And music that I didn't really like, but it was weird.
Well, I don't know where your guys are at. I'm pretty sure this is gonna end up meeting at the Teletran.
I don't know where that is.
Look for a big thing that kind of looks like a book. Oh shit, not yet. Um, it's in the mag truck graveyard.
Where we fought the nothing guy?
Yeah. That's if you can't find your guys or my guys or our guys, I guess it's our guys now. We're in it. That's probably where we're gonna end up. But right now, I gotta say bye.
And she puts a hand on his shoulder and looks through the window and goes, and she just gives him a smile and nods, and then she's gonna keep going.
Still headed towards Heather's?
Yeah.
Scarlet runs off. The continuous knocking, this conversation only lasted 20, 30 seconds, but as the knocking continues, you see light shift from inside as the beads part, and you see a very familiar silhouette moving towards you. Everybody, I'd like you to go to your Spotify playlist and go ahead and turn on track number 3, Fade Into You. You see, you're not even sure if you remember Maggie being this young, even though it's only about 10 years later that she'll pass, but she seems 30 years younger than that time. And she's wearing a long, flowing dress. The crystals above her, you can almost hear them clink despite the door separating the two of you. And you see her move through, and you hear the turn of the tumbler of the lock, and the door opens up, and there's a waft of print material in 1969 as she looks out and says, "Rob?" She hugs you. She just wraps you in her arms. And even though she's not that much taller than Rob is now, she gets down on her knees and just hugs you as tightly as she can. And you hear her whisper in your ear, "You know."
Yeah.
Then you hear her say, "My son." And she pulls you inside into the paperback exchange. And when she closes the door, now what you are, you hear the hum of the protection and the magic that she has in the place seal the paperback exchange from the outside world. And she grabs your face in her hands, and she just looks at you, and there's a smile of pride across her face. "Are you happy, my son?"
Happier now.
And she just hugs you. She senses what you need. But as she's hugging you and rocking with you as a mother would to a much smaller child, but again, knowing what Rob needs in this moment, she starts asking questions that a mother would. "How old are you now?"
28.
"Do you have someone special?"
I did. But I lost her, and I didn't really get a chance to say bye.
"Do you have someone special besides me?"
No.
Tears begin to well up in her eyes. They're tears of a strange mixture that only parents can produce. It's a measure of pride that your child would love you so much, and a mixture of sadness that it is potentially that very love that is keeping them from experiencing other joys. And she smiles through those tears as they roll off her lips, and around the smile, son, you have to live.
What does that mean? I thought I was, but I don't know how.
Your friends, they are full of life. Let them teach you.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
You're pretty cool.
Thanks, Mom. And Rob's gonna laugh and just hold her real tight and say, I just wanted to see you again and, say bye. For real this time.
A real goodbye. What does that even mean?
Well, it's not forever. I just didn't get to say it the way I wanted to last time. I
Then
miss
do
you.
me a favor. You can miss me. I will miss you. Even when I see you every day, I will miss the man you become. And Rob, you look down and you are your present age. Gone is the body of the 12-year-old. Look at you.
Look at me.
There are privileges to being the son of a witch.
Hell yeah, there are. I think I gotta save my friends.
She stands up and she offers her hand down to you because you're now seated to match the height that you were as a child. And she reaches down to help you up.
Thank you for everything.
Do
I
you
know
have 30 seconds?
Yeah. 30 seconds. Starting now.
She extends her hand to you in a way that is probably done in some royal court somewhere where manners mean such things. And she offers you her hand to take in a dance.
Rob's gonna take her hand and do a little.
She falls into your arms and she begins to move with you. And she whispers into your ear, it is tradition that a parent dances with a child on the day of their wedding. I will not be there as I am, but we can always be here. And for 25 seconds, mother and son dance through the comic book aisles of the one and only Paperback Exchange.
With about 5 seconds left, I'm gonna dip her.
You do. She smiles, and you find yourself at the AMC 6 Theaters, the parking lot by the Volkswagen.
Am I still Big Rob, or am I back to Little Rob?
What do you want to be?
Big Rob.
Big Rob it is. Scarlet, let's cut to you. And fantastic scene, my friend. Get a drink, get a smoke, shake it off. Scarlet, you make it to Heather Street.
Yeah.
And you see a man on a motorcycle.
Her eyes narrow, and she, maybe kind of bends down behind the trunk of a car and just watches, sees who it is.
You see a light flicker on the front of the Harley Davidson. It blinks in your direction. Christ, Scarlet, it's me.
She stands up. What?
The light goes off, and behind the handlebars, you see Randall Flagg.
The way she remembers him? The older guy?
Yes.
Okay. She takes a step forward and then jogs up to him. What are you doing here?
I gotta stop you.
What? Why?
They're not ready yet. Ricky might be, but the other two aren't ready yet.
The test.
We haven't had it yet.
But the nothing, that's who we were here. That's who we're trying to stop. That's
He leans over his handlebars and kind of steeples his hands in front. I am well aware.
She puts her hands on her hips. What do you mean? You knew this whole time? I thought you didn't know who was pulling the strings.
Well, I don't know who it is.
But you know what it is?
I know that it's not good. He says that word like he's not really sure what it means.
Do you even know where I've been?
Yeah.
Everything is messed up.
Tell me about it.
But you're partly to blame because of it. We left because of you.
I'm more than partly to blame. But I think you know that it's not time yet.
But why am I here then? How did I get here?
He smiles. 'Cause the nothing don't know everything.
Okay. But she looks around like, where is he? How can I stop him?
Not now. He looks around. Veil's still up. He looks over on the hill. There are 3 stacks in the distance. Loop's still here.
So what do I do then? Am Am I stuck here?
No. What do you want to do?
She
You
looks
gonna
at
warn JD?
nothing. None of this would have happened if he hadn't left.
Yes, it would have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting on this motorcycle, leaving my shift early. They don't like it when you just play records and there isn't anybody talking in between it, you know?
And I think she says in a slightly different voice, a lot more mature voice, if JD hadn't left, none of this would have happened.
Hop on.
Where are we going?
Wherever you want.
She slowly walks and stands there for a moment. I don't know what I want. I just need to save people. To save Garrett. So how do I save Garrett when I'm here? And she will climb on the back.
He looks over his shoulder. Learn what you can, Slinger. Take it with you. And then save Garrett.
Something's happening at the mall, I think. That's
They've
where
got
all
that
the
handled.
Okay. So you're saying that warning JD won't matter. I can't talk to Heather because she's not ready.
What was that other thing you said?
Oh, Ricky?
Ricky's fine.
I don't know what I said.
You said something about the nothing? Let's go pay him a visit, Slinger.
Okay. You know, he almost killed us, right? If Rob hadn't showed up, we would have died.
I didn't say we had to fight him. I said you need to learn what you can. Take it with you.
Okay. Okay. Where do you think he is?
Let's find him. And he revs the motorcycle, and y'all peel off into the Garrett night. But everybody, if you wouldn't mind, go on over and cue up track number 5, the Foo Fighters. As we kind of creep back in time a few minutes, as the host of Autobots proper pour over the hill, Jerry, Ben, Shannon, Mitch, George. Jerry, how fast are you moving? Is this reckless? Is this stealth? Is this determination? You tell me.
It's reckless. He's seen how this ends before. He's certain they can do it again.
Okay, so you're charging down. Ben is lockstep with you. At this point, Ben has kind of figured out what's going on, sort of. He's still looking over his shoulders, trying to figure out where Scarlet could be, but at the same time, he's sort of reintegrating himself into 1987. Shannon, you see Jerry and Ben just absolutely, basically blazing their own trail through the tall grass in between the switchbacks and just running straight down the hill. Jerry cutting a path, Ben following it. But Shannon, what do you do as you kind of enter in basically the same area, but you can pick a different approach if you'd like?
I mean, Shannon is explicitly going after Chris and Dutch and me, like exactly the direction they were going. She saw somebody who she doesn't necessarily like recall in the moment who it would have been, and she doesn't really so much care about that particular moment. For her, she's 100% wanting to prevent whatever is about to happen because of Dutch and me and Chris. So she probably, maybe with the investigate, she does know there's other people, but she doesn't even care who it is. She's just going to the one target that she has.
Gotcha. So in this instance, where the rest of the group is sort of their same order and same kind of staggered order, but as Jerry and Ben go off after where Veronica went over the edge, Shannon is about 25, 30 yards, up the hill a little bit, going over the side where the boys went over. So you guys are running sort of parallel to one another, but quickly as the trees begin to come forward in the scrapyard, you are removed from one another's sight. But you can see that there's bent grass in this area. You can see that in all likelihood, someone just passed this way. The old bounty hunter knowledge is still coming forward here, even in this smaller form. But experience is experience. You can't take that away. And so, Shannon, you're progressing down in that direction. Mitch, George, Mitch, you said you were following Shannon. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You would see her at a different kind of trajectory. Do you follow that trajectory?
Yeah, in the parking lot, Mitch made a logical leap. Regardless of whether she wants to or not, categorically, Shannon always ends up finding her way back to those idiots. And that's exactly where Mitch wants to be. So the moment that she starts to split off, I think that's where Butts would see that Mitch is not headed towards where Ronnie went. He's headed towards where Shannon's going.
So, George, you're the only one that would see Mitch kind of peel off and basically choose Shannon's path. And you have a chance and choice here, as you have the path of Jerry and Ben and the path of Shannon and Mitch. And George, alone again, as you stand here and make this decision, what do you do, boy robot?
I think in that moment, George understands that Jerry can handle that Ben can probably handle that. He has no idea what's happening with the Shannon and the Mitch direction. So I think he's going to choose that direction because that might be a bigger danger. It's the devil he doesn't know. So he wants to see if he needs to be there or not.
Absolutely. So as the five of you descend now, in Jerry and Ben on one side, Shannon, Mitch, and George on the other, a couple things are going to happen here. At roughly the same time, Jerry and Ben come across Veronica. But in a scene that you've never seen before, you see Veronica floating about 2 feet off the ground, her back facing the dirt. Her legs are dipping down, her ankles are touching the ground, her hair is lying against the dirt, but the middle of her body is lifted almost in an arch. And you see something that is shimmering, very Predator-like, over top of her. And you see something being drawn out of her eyes. At the same time, let me get my notes for this one because, woo! Alrighty. I want to investigate from Shannon, from Mitch, and from George.
One success.
2 successes.
1 success.
Mitch, you see this first, and the other 2 quickly after. You arrive into an area, and there is a brilliant flash of light to the point where all of you are going to need to make force rolls to keep your feet, but not yet. As this flash illuminates and in some places burns the metal in the scrapyard, it's almost like the entirety of Garrett has had its picture taken, and there is a flash bulb that goes off. And when the eyes clear and you look, you see at the center of a fused glass piece of earth, the ground itself turned into just almost the metal is melting and there is glass. And in the middle of all of that stands Mitch. And as Mitch stands there, looks around, he's holding what looks like a lock in his hand. And you see Chris, who apparently was caught at the epicenter of this blast. Dutch and Nee are on the ground about 10 yards away, trying to catch their wits about them. But you see Chris turn and look at his friends, and he's screaming as his body begins to melt. Guys, what's wrong? Guys! And you see him fall into the ground and turn into liquid. Roll force.
3 successes.
1 for Shannon.
3 for George.
George and Mitch, you keep your feet, but Shannon, you were closest to all of this when it went off. And in fact, you get thrown back into Mitch, maybe 10 yards back yourself. Mitch, with 3 successes, you are able to stop Shannon's descent if you so choose. In doing so, will slow you down slightly. What do you do?
I'm so sorry, Shannon. Mitch steps out of the way. He had one reason for being here, and in his purely logic-based mind, Shannon's job was to find these 3 kids, and he wanted one of them, and that one is gone. But the momentum he had running after Shannon and up this hill carries through as he charges at himself.
Yourself turns to look at you, and there's a kind of a quizzical Mitch, as you say to yourself.
He charges down the hill, and very reminiscent of the cannonball maneuver he tried on either Dutch or Nee, he launches himself and just says, "Eat shit, fucker!" And tries to smash into the chest of his future self.
Roll force. Roll move for me, Shannon, to see if you can avoid basically being, prone. And George, you see all of this, the flash. You're able to keep your, keep your wits about you, keep your feet underneath you. And it's almost as if your eyes kind of have a little sun shield that goes across them during the more brilliant parts of everything. But you see a cannonball maneuver done by Mitch as it is heading towards another Mitch. And George, in this moment that normally would be, I'd make you roll a sanity check, but this is Atari Midnight. We don't do that shit because it's every day this stuff happens. Every Thursday, everybody. What do you do, my friend?
I think with the blast, it's more instinct. So, he saves himself. In that instance, with our Mitch kind of dodging Shannon flying back, does she need help or does she land on her feet? He's kind of...
You had 3 successes as well. Yeah, you can catch Shannon if you would like, or stop her basically from hitting the dirt and, eating shit potentially. But it would slow you down a little bit.
I think that's okay. I think I would because, again, I think George wants to think more unit. So if she's on the ground, she's less useful. But if he just uses one hand to kind of Superman catch her with one hand or stop her from hitting the ground and kind of push her back up on her feet, he's going to take that half a second to do so. And then I think he's going to make a steel knife hand and kind of approach Nega Mitch as well.
This version of your body does not do that.
He could try.
This is the Fisher-Price George Butts. This is not the advanced.
You hold your
yet.
hand up.
I'm gonna get you.
You can really make your fingers rigid if that means anything.
You do the military knife hand, and you're like, this will work.
Yeah. I'm gonna change this. Turn a little bit sideways on him.
Okay, so for a moment, Shannon, you get blasted back. You see as Mitch runs right past you. You know, there's no doubt. I'm not making you roll. You know that he basically said, eat shit. I'm going to make an approach. I don't know how Shannon would take that, but that's what you witness. And as you are preparing to like tuck and roll, dodge, avoid being hurt, you are caught with one hand by George, who has arrived on the scene. And for a moment, I'll give you each 3 seconds. If there's some witty banter, something you guys want to plan, you've got 3 beats of a heart to do so.
Shannon literally just says, "What the fuck?" to George. She hasn't seen them in forever.
Yeah.
And she has no idea what's going on.
He just like gives a light chuckle, like, you got to be more careful.
She like scoffs at him, and that's the 3 beats, I think, at that point.
There's a guy in Vegas that'll tell you about that loose talk around Shannon. So be catch one
Sorry for another time.
Right. Okay. So as you are, what is your force roll for the cannonball move, Mitch?
3, Greg.
So you all would see, just as George like keeps Shannon from hitting the ground, the what the fuck, the exchange there, you both turn back around, look down the kind of made path at this point, and you see Dutch and Me starting to pull themselves up as Mitch hits Mitch with a ton of force. Roll me and investigate just George and Shannon.
3 successes on mine.
2 successes.
The winner gets the prize here. As Shannon, you see that this second newly arrived Mitch drops something as it goes flying off into the scrapyard. You're not sure what it was, but you saw something come out of his grasp and kind of tilt and list off into the scrapyard.
Shit. Like, does it go up and out, or just like as if it was thrown?
As if it was not necessarily thrown, but knocked out of somebody's grasp. So it wasn't purposefully like thrown with as much strength as is humanly possible. You would guess it probably comes to rest 20 feet away from where it was thrown, but you lost it as soon as it kind of went in a specific area. There's just too much debris and stuff here, but you saw its flight.
Can Shannon find it?
With 3 successes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to find
Shannon
it.
Locke can find anything.
Yes.
Emphasis on that last name. Okay. So for a moment, the two of you are face to face, Mitch, as the wizard Mitch looks up into his doppelganger and goes, "Well, shit, you're not the Mitch I'm looking for."
Where does he go as I smash into him? Does he like get sprawled out on the ground, or does he just take the hit? Like,
yeah, you guys are in like a lover's embrace right now. In fact, like you're like chest to chest on top of each other when you've come to like an ending tumble.
Perfect.
And so he looks into your eyes from like beneath you. "Shit, you're not the Mitch I'm looking for."
There's a moment where Mitch has completely forgotten that he's 13 and has the spindly body of a 13-year-old, and not the slightly less spindly body of a mad scientist who's worked on machines for the last 10 years. And he is fully like sat on this older version of him's chest and has him by the collar. And he's like, "Answers! I need answers!" And is shaking this guy. Trying to be as intimidating as possible, fully forgetting he's 13.
At this point, when it looks like Wizard Mitch doesn't think that he's in trouble, you see him like kind of getting jostled around by you, and he's looking and going, "What do you need to know?" Roll me an investigate.
Investigate, you say? 3 successes, Greg. I'm on fucking fire. It's right. I'm going to die next episode, so.
You see that he has something in the palm of his hand that he is moving to push against your face. There is a metal pad across the skin beneath his thumb, and he is reaching for you.
He will grab his wrist and like pin his wrist.
Sparks fly off of it as you do, and for a moment, the two of you are joined in this moment. as we cut back to Ben and Jerry. Jerry, Veronica is awake, and you can hear her muffled screaming as something is coming out of her eyes. There is blood along her head. You remember the wound that she had, but this moment was never observed before. And whatever is doing this to her is two things: invisible and big. What do you do, my friend?
Jerry visits violence upon whatever's above her.
Roll force, and just before you make it there, you feel something thrust into your hand as Ben puts a roll of pennies into your right hand.
That's 2 successes.
Tell me how you strike this thing.
Probably as out of habit, Jerry tries to call up the lightning with the pennies in his hand, whether it works or not. He just aims a huge ham, well, for a 13-year-old, a huge ham fist at whatever is assaulting her.
The lightning does not come. But, my friend, because you are very charged up in this moment, I had a drum roll there, but it didn't work. I will allow this. You have 3, I believe, 2 or 3 luck points, correct?
I think I've got 2 left, 1 left. I have 2 normally.
I will let you convert those into successes if you would like.
Yeah, why not?
So as you strike this invisible entity, at the same time as brought on by your luck, Ben strikes at the exact same time as the brothers both throw punches from varying heights, I might add. But as your fist hits, Ben's fist hits at the same spot, just about 6 inches lower, also armed with a roll of pennies, as the connection is severed between Veronica and whatever the hell this predator is. And her eyes flutter open, and you see for the first time Veronica, years after. Well, you know what? We got just a few seconds to do this. Somebody turn on actually, yeah, turn on number 6 for me. I want to go back. Eddie Money. And Veronica's eyes clear, and you see this wisp of mist coming off of them, and she looks at you. This is the first time that she really looked at Jerry back in 87, but now this time has changed slightly. And you see her look at you again. Jerry, this is the beginning. It ends very badly. Or does it? Knowing everything that Jerry knows, where their love takes them, what ultimately drives her away from Jerry, there is one thing that goes through Jerry's mind. This is another chance. What do you do?
Jerry runs through everything in his head all over again. And he also recognizes that this is where it all kind of went wrong for her. And he knows like how much it affected her being on the run, not being able to trust anyone, like having no one to turn to for like a year before anyone noticed. And with a weird familiarity for her, Jerry grabs Veronica by the shoulders and just looks her right in the eye. Says, Ronnie, this might sound crazy, but I know what's going on for you at home, and I know it's hard right now, but you and your sister gotta go with your dad. You gotta get out of town now. This is only gonna get worse. Trust me.
I want to make you roll a charm, but I'm not going to do it.
All right, fair.
Because that's too damn good. She looks at you, and that teenage attitude drips away, and she sees you, and she doesn't see the 14-year-old, 13-year-old in front of her. She sees the bassist that played with Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And Jerry, you see the girl in her 20s that walked away from you, but she doesn't look like she wants to walk anymore.
It's really all he could hope for, but he knows how it ends. He just wants her to get out.
Does he? Does he know how it ends?
He thinks he does.
Brand new beginning. Ben puts his hand on the shoulder and says, Jerry, it's gone. Whatever it was, it's gone.
It was Mitch's dad.
Holy shit. And we pull away from this scene, everybody, as each of you have 10 seconds left in Garrett. Shannon, you are running for whatever it is that went into the scrapyard. T-minus 9 seconds. Mitch, you are face to face and fighting with this hand that is blistering with electricity. T-minus 8 seconds. Jerry and Ben are with Veronica. T-minus 7 seconds. George, you are standing watching Mitch battle and watching Shannon run that way. T-minus 6 seconds. Scarlet, you are on the back of the motorcycle of the jaunting dude, Randall Flagg. T-minus however many seconds, 5, 4, whatever I'm at. Friends, what do you do?
Rob's gonna scream.
What are you gonna scream?
Just
in rage or happiness, or
it's closure and understanding of his purpose. And I guess he's gonna try. I know you said we only have a few seconds, but he's gonna kind of scream and then look in the direction of where he thinks his friends went.
I'm going to say this, that of all the people here, Rob would be the only one that knows that whatever brought them back is ending. You are away from everyone, but if there's anything you want to yell to the group, I will give you a chance to be heard. If there's any directions, warning, instructions, information, anything you can think of to convey to the rest of the group, I will give you your shout, your yell of understanding can also be accompanied by anything like that you would like to give as you act as the lighthouse for Garrett.
In that case, he is gonna scream and he's gonna yell, Autobots, roll out.
I was going to make you roll for that, but that is so goddamn good. I am not. As everybody save Scarlet hears Autobots, roll out. What do the rest of you want to do? Scarlet will save what's going to happen with you for the end. Mitch, George, Jerry, Shannon, couple seconds.
Do I have the lock or whatever it was? It flew.
Roll me one more. No, roll me and investigate.
Okay. Fuck me.
You're
Wait,
sure
can I use
it's
a look?
right here. Yeah, absolutely.
How do I do that again? I don't even remember.
Just re-roll.
Just re-roll.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, okay. please. Oh, fuck yourself. God damn it, dice.
Well, see, this is how it works out here, Shannon. You get there, you know it's right here. You saw it drop within this 5-foot area. You look around, let me ask, as everybody's going around here, George, do you help Mitch out or did you follow Shannon?
I think in the moment where things are kind of colliding and that countdown was happening, George was stuck in his tracks, and whether his eyes are fluttering back and forth rapidly, he's going through calculus in his head for trying to figure out what's the logical action here, what's the right thing to do, what's going to be the most impactful. And I think he lands on pulling Mitch out of that situation because he understands what Mitch is or was at that time.
I love this approach, man, because you're looking at this like a military asset. You know, Shannon's only good if she's on her feet. Mitch is only good because he's like a VIP. Mm-hmm. Awesome, buddy. I love that approach. Okay, so you are able to, with your own might, pull Mitch away from the Mitch that's on the ground. They kind of tear away from one another. Shannon, you're pretty sure you know where this is. Mitch, what do you do in this moment?
So right before George pulled me off, you had me roll a investigation as I'm looking at the hand. What do I garner from this hand?
It is a lethal weapon of some sort, and you know how it was designed, almost as if you did it.
Do I, with 3 successes, do I know how to disable it?
Sure.
I think that's where I'm not paying attention to Butts, and I've taken the other hand off of like his like chest, and I am holding both hands like at his palm, and I'm disabling whatever this is. And then as soon as it's disabled and I feel that kind of yank from Butts, I quickly like kind of scramble to my feet, and I turn to him and I say, "Not me, him. That's not me. Get him." Still remembering that Butts is a robot.
Okay, I will ask you this. Do you want to disable it, or do you want to hurt him and disable it?
Oh, let's hurt him.
You spit on his palm, and you see yourself arch up as the electricity feeds back through the circuit, and his entire body kind of lances up in a very similar motion to Veronica. And you pull back as this guy's writhing in pain in front of you. George, you look down. You basically disconnected the circuit right before this guy went atomic. And you hear Mitch say, "Get him." Warnings are flashing in your Fisher-Price LED. Electricity hazard, electricity hazard, electricity hazard going around the periphery of your...
Oh, that definitely... I think in this moment, man, I don't want to be like too rigid on it, but I think he knows he's already made his calculation and he wants to go through with it. However, is this thing like short-circuiting? Like, what can he visually see on this? Like, I guess he's trying to understand what's actually happening.
This is Luke getting electrocuted by the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi. Just squirming with electricity and sparks kind of flying all over him. You realize that this was an entire suit he was wearing, and Mitch was able to sabotage it and basically completely destroy it with one pull of a wire and some spit.
And Mitch is not in trouble anymore. He's not...
He would have been if you hadn't pulled him away.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know. I think because I went to go do the hand sword, and it didn't happen. I think he's gonna be a little hesitant because he doesn't know what he can and can't do anymore because he's not used to his body. It's been a very long time. I think he's gonna look for like a piece of wood or something to use as like an improvised weapon.
So you look around, and much like Rob found a long piece of metal at their first encounter, there's a piece of wood there, and as you reach for it, everything begins to turn white. Shannon, as you are looking around for this lock, you look up, and as Greg uses the Michigan from last week, You see an invisible creature with red eyes holding what looks like this lock, and you see it flip it up into the air and catch it as the world begins to gray out around you. Jerry, the world begins to gray out around you as you're looking down at Veronica and she smiles up at you. Ben, the world begins to gray out around him as he looks up into the night sky and says, Scarlet. And as everything begins to, the last thing you all hear is Autobots roll out as the light begins to gray out around Rob as well. But friends, that's where the Autobot story in 1987, Garrett, ends. We have one last tale. Sitting on the back of Randall Flagg's bike and overlooking one of the suburban streets in Garrett, I'd like everybody to go down to number 7 and play Modest Mouse for me. Randall looks over his shoulder, looks down at the street, which is empty. No cars are moving. The street lights are dark at this time of night, but you can make out, Scarlet, a figure that looks like it's strutting down the street, dancing, kind of clicking its heels as it begins to move. And you see swirling around this creature a black line and tendril of musical notes. And Randall looks at you as your vision begins to gray out, and you see Pennywise, resplendent in the white makeup, grown back to his full height, dancing down the street, this suburban street in Garrett, Maryland, where everything is normal save that house right there with the funny-looking shrubs. And as Pennywise begins to dance towards that house, we follow the notes back as Scarlet disappears off the back of the bike. The notes travel through the Garrett air all the way to the mag truck graveyard, where on top of a decidedly non-green truck sits the Nothing, who plays his guitar. We all float on all right. And friends, that's where we end this session of Atari Midnight. Join us next week for episode 3, Under the Table and Dreaming.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Okay, Greg. All right, Greg. I see you.
Greg, right?
Greg. Let's go around, do our introductions so that we can get the hell out of here and go talk about this show in our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, it's exclusive to our Patreon over at the $5 tier, link in the description down below. While you're down there joining us on the Patreon, like you obviously should, make sure you join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. That being said, let's go around and do these outros. We'll start with everyone's friendly neighborhood robot. Mike, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Mike. Don't find me on the internet. That'd be great.
Perfect.
That's about it. You'll find me here.
Perfect. Always looking for the next best thing. Meta, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you looking for?
I don't even know what that introduction was.
You were looking for something in the
Metamancer.
junkyard. It was a looking... It's a seg... Shut up.
Metamancer, you can find me here and other places on the internet sometimes, maybe. Go find me if you want to, I guess. That's
Fair.
it. That's all I got.
Jumping right over to Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
I'm Mr. Bitters. Come back here next week and find me here, because this is what I do.
Hell yeah. Frags, you're up next. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, just being a dude, doing my thing, being my cat, just chilling. Yeah, you can find me here. I mean, I'm other places on the internet, but it's not important.
Perfect. And G, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hello, I'm the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You'll find me doing things within unMadeGaming. modding for the streams and playing all the Patreon stuff. It's the Patreon one-shots this Saturday at 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern time, respectively. And you'll see me in the Patreon campaign on Sunday, Mundus Novus, which is Vaesen. And yeah, you'll see me here next week, shouting more probably.
Hell yeah.
And in the Discord.
And last but not least, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And what, pray tell, are you up to?
Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I am Warp Reactor over on YouTube. If you fancy yourself in need of some sci-fi and reaction videos, join me over there. It's fun. But friends, if you want to continue with the adventures of the Autobots and the Keystones inside the worlds of Atari Twilight, Age of Always, and Atari Midnight, look no farther than this, the Unmade Gaming channel, where all good stories come to live. Friends, I will see you next week.
And with that, we will see you guys next time. So from all of us to you, bye.